So, hello everybody. We are now in a few seconds or minutes starting with our live talk to Luo Yang. She's a photographer from China, and we are now showing her exhibition in Linz. That's her first solo exhibition in Austria, and we are very happy to be able to show her two main series. These are girls and youth. So from both series we have a lot of photographs here in the exhibition. And as we are living now in a little bit difficult times in terms of traveling, Luo could not come, unfortunately, not come to Linz to install the exhibition together with us. But now you will at least get the chance to see her and to hear her if technically everything works out. But before, maybe I can talk a little bit about the exhibition. We have just finished it. We had a press conference 1 hour ago, and it's a really beautiful show in the new exhibition rooms of the Francisco Carolinum.
Hello.
Hello,
Okay,
Luo.
get in. Hi.
It's very nice to meet you. I'm very happy that you are here.
Me too.
I just thought that it's so nice that we at least can talk on this way together, because you could unfortunately not come to Linz in these very difficult times. But at least we now have the chance to talk about your work and to talk about your exhibition. So thank you very much that you have agreed to do that talk. It's our first time for an Insta talk. So for both of us, the first time. So we are a little bit excited, aren't we? But I think it will work quite good. So I will just give you my first question. So we see all these people, all these interesting young people on your photographs. So my first question is a quite simple one. How do you find all these people? Have you known them before? Are these all friends, or are you looking for them somehow?
In the beginning, the most of the models is my classmate. So I started photography in college. So most of my classmates, and some is my friend. And later, some friend introduced me to know some people. Also, a lot of people I found online.
Okay. And then when you start the shooting, how much do you influence what you are going, or how you are going to shoot them? So do you, for example, tell them how they should style or where to go for the photos, or do they choose that, or do you discuss that with them? That would be also interesting, I think.
Actually, I didn't influence too much because I think first I very respected the models, their quality. So I prefer to shoot very real of their life. So normally I go to their place, the place they know. So I think then they can feel very comfortable and feel relaxed. So better I shoot the photos at their place or the place they like. And sometimes if I find a place I really like, so I going to find some models very good for we shoot together there. Yeah.
Okay, because I think when you look at these photographs, you feel it, that you have a quite intimate relationship with your models. I like that a lot. So as a viewer, you see that this is a good relationship between photographer and model. I think you feel that you don't tell them what to do or how to behave, and that's the interesting and the good thing about it, I find. I have once read in an interview that you told that you find out a lot of things about yourself by photographing all these young women. That was interesting for me because usually you don't take photos of yourself. There are no self-portraits in your series, but you learn about yourself. Could you explain that a little bit for us?
Okay. Because the models, when I start to shoot groceries, the models mostly is like my classmate. So we are almost the same age, same generation. So I think we can understand each other very well. So I think we also face many problems like the same way. So when I shoot them, I feel like I shoot myself life because we very similar, we close each other. So I'm outsider, but at the same time, I feel like I'm part of them. So my groceries, I feel, yeah. So the girls' photos, I feel like it's record also my life. I grew up with the groceries around 10 years.
So you share your experiences with
Yeah.
them.
Yes, I think we share each other. The photos is makes my life also the girl's life.
Interesting. In both series, we show in the we have a lot of photos from both series in the show, and in girls as well as in youth, you show us a part of Chinese society and of Chinese urban culture, which is not so well known in Europe. What is your intention by doing that? Would you like to show us something unexpected, or is it more a documentation of your generation and the following one?
Actually, I just want to show what's the real, also what's the real young people how they live in China. So I never think about how to show the difference for what's the Western know of China. So I think the real is very important. It I think from my groceries, I think Western people can see very different from of they know of China.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I always have got the experience in your photos that you learn something what is behind the photos or behind the people in there. I think you see a lot of, if you watch them for a longer time, you see a lot of things that are not directly in the photos, but which is behind. That is interesting for me. There are kind of stories in your head when you watch them. That's for me a very nice thing about your photos. And in portrait photography has been a very important genre in photography in general since its beginnings. Portraits has been very important for that. And if you compare it with European photography, we see that in Europe very often we have very strict concepts for photographing people, like for example, in the tradition of August Sander, there are a lot of photographers who do a very strict concept. The people always in the same position on their photos and so on. The surroundings it's always the same. Compared to that, you have a quite free concept for photography. That's interesting, I find. We can see a wide variety of approaches. to your models, and there also seems to be more freedom, kind of more freedom in the photographic concepts you choose. What do you think about that? Are there any photographers in history or in contemporary photography who had a great influence on your work?
Because my background is not traditional photography, so I didn't learn the traditional way of my work. So I just hope to follow my feeling, and why should I think record the real reality is more important. So I'm not really care about the form, how to like if my photo, if people's like. So I just very follow my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And also I think the models, most of them is very straightforward. They are very real. So that I think that's make my photo feelings very real too. And about actually I'm not influenced by special art photography, but I like a lot of artists, like especially some female artists. I think the female, they really influence me a lot. Also, like the people around me, like my mom or my sister, and a friend of me. I think the life influences me.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So maybe that's also a reason why girls actually is not finished yet, is it? I mean, I think it's ongoing from
Yeah, it's still
2007. So
around 10 years. Yeah.
that's really interesting, because sometimes on the internet, when one reads text about you,
Mm-hmm.
then it says until 2017 or something. So as if it was finished, but I see that it's ongoing. So what I find nice about that is that you seem to be really touched and really fascinated by this topic, by photographing your generation of women in their different life situations and so on. And so why is it so captivating for you? Why are you so fascinated by this topic?
I think first because the girl's life really touched me. Also, it's really close to my life. I think if not, I'm not record on the present the girl's life. I think that's very pity. The time going so fast, so everything will be gone. So I feel very pity. Also, like my life, also like my friends' life, my mom, the people around me. I think I should to record their life. So that's the most reason I keeping shoot. Also the also very interesting thing is like my girl story is around 10 years. So in the beginning I show some like my classmate and my friend. So after 5 years 10 years, I saw their life is most changing a lot. So I keeping shooting. I think that's very interesting. I can see how their life changing, and after 10 years, how now, what kind of they live. So I gonna keeping shoot groceries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. And another question, a concern, which is related to that, concerns the differences between the two series. So you started with girls, which were the young women born in the more or less in the 1980s, around the 1980s, and in youth, the people are younger. So born in the late 90s, 2000. Do you see a difference between them? Do you see?
Yeah.
Do you think they have other or different living conditions or other Ziele, targets in their lives? Is there a difference?
Mm-hmm.
Because
I think,
what
yeah.
everybody always tells in Europe about China is that it's so rapidly changing. So China is always,
Mm-hmm.
for us, it's always changing. So
That's
in
right. I'm
economical
changing very
terms,
fast.
but also in
Yeah.
social terms. So do you feel there is a difference between the two generations you were
Mm-hmm.
photographing, even if they are so close?
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's around the two series around like 10 years different. So the girl series is like my generation. I'm born like 80s. So I think the youth series, the people are born after 95 is around, also around like 2000, 2000. So I think it's very, yeah, it's very different. Like the youth series, I think the young people, they are more open-minded. Also, they influence from the internet, the like Instagram, like um, Facebook a lot. So I think they live based on the internet. So they also can see a lot different a lot. They can get a lot of information from the outside of China. Like my generation, I think that time we don't have too much way to know the world. So now I think the people more open. They more also more independent. Also more not that traditional like the groceries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also in my youth series, we can see a lot. I shoot a lot of boys also, because groceries only girls, and because now I think in China, um, I think the boys is more not also more open. They can dress, they can behave like very middle sexual. But if like 10 years ago, if you dress very colorful or you dress like, I think people will judge you. But now I think people can more accept the sexual, yeah.
That's
So I
possible
think,
that it changes also that
yeah,
way,
very different
not
now.
only in economical terms or in, yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Thanks. I have a last question
Okay.
concerns um, the technical point of view, because people are always interested, always want to know if it's digital or if it's analog photography. So
Okay.
how are your photos taken, and which camera, which kind of technique do you use?
Okay. So the internet is okay. Okay. The most of my photo is film. So in the beginning, like 10 years ago, that in the beginning, I even don't have my own camera. I brought a small camera from my friend, and then after that, I bought I remember is Nikon FM. So I didn't use too much different camera. I use Nikon FM, and now I use a lot Contax 645. Also
Okay.
Olympus Mu2 is very small, convenient camera. I always bring it when I go to the street or when I meet friend. And also Hasbulla, yeah. So I use the middle uh mid, media format camera a lot. Yeah.
Mittelformat is in
Yeah.
German. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So just around
Thank you
4 or
very
5.
much. Would you like to add something to our visitors? Would you like to say something just for them to take into
Okay.
the exhibition? Is there anything you want to tell us or our visitors in the museum?
Yeah, I hope they can really enjoy the exhibition. Also, I think the people, when they see my photo, maybe they can feel themselves. I think the emotional is no matter which country you're from, is no matter the background of the knowledge. So I hope they can connect with my photos of also with me. So I hope they can enjoy the exhibition.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm sure they can. And yeah, that I think that was a very good kind of finishing word. So
yeah, I really hope I can share.
Thanks a lot for having you here, and thank you for this really beautiful exhibition. Thank you for
Thank you
working
too.
with us.
Yeah,
And
I saw the photo is so beautiful. It's hung in the museum.
Thanks. I hope we will have a lot of possibilities in future to show your work all over the world, not only in Europe, but all over the world, because it's really something very fascinating, and I'm very happy that we have your show. So thanks a lot, and
Thank
see
you
you.
too. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.